Smoothies are an amazing way to help you achieve your weight loss or wellness goal, but there's a lot of ways to do it wrong, and I see these mistakes happen all the time. Now today I'm going to be sharing the 10 mistakes that I see every day when it comes to smoothies so that you can actually achieve your wellness goal in today's video. Alright guys, if you're new to my channel and you don't know who I am, my name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition and human performance. On my channel, I'm typically talking about the science-backed and holistic information that you can use in order to feel amazing again, and part of that is using smoothies in order to achieve your wellness goals the right way. But those of you who are not new to my channel know that I love smoothies. I have them every day almost. Actually, I probably have had a smoothie every day for the past years. And I found them to be a really key factor for helping me personally with my wellness goals. So this topic was originally a blog post on my website that did very well, and a lot of people responded positively to because they said they were making a lot of these mistakes. So I want to share it with you guys so you can make sure you're not making the same mistakes. Okay, smoothie mistake number 1. You're using fruit juice as your base of your smoothie. Some common fruit juices are things like orange juice or apple juice, and using about 10 ounces of this will add, just with the base, about 26 grams of sugar. That's literally more than a Reese's peanut butter cup. And that's not even including if you're adding in more fruit on top of that. And starting off with this much sugar will throw your blood glucose levels on a roller coaster ride for the rest of the day. And for every spike that you have in blood glucose results in a spike of insulin that's going to cause that storing mode to occur within your body. So instead of using fruit juice as a base, instead opt for an unsweetened nut milk like coconut milk or almond milk or macadamia nut milk, hemp seed milk. I could literally go on. There's so many options now. And you can even make your own coconut milk. You guys know how easy it is. The recipe's right here. Make it so easy. Okay, number 2, you are using way too much protein. Get it? Way. What I often see is people do like a scoop of plant-based protein, a scoop of collagen, a scoop of BCAAs, and just layer these on because they hear that all of these are good for them, but use all of them at once in the same smoothie. This can add up to quite a lot of protein. Depending on the brands that you're using, this could lead to 40, 50 grams of protein in one smoothie, and that's just from the protein powder, not even including any other ingredients that you're adding in. Protein in the body is mainly used for hormones or muscle repair or helping with the creation of new cells. It's not really used as a fuel source. In fact, when we reach that max on how much protein that we really need in a day, our body actually starts to convert that protein into carbohydrates through a process called gluconeogenesis. So if you are really upping the protein content past what you may actually need, then theoretically you're actually just increasing the carbohydrate content of your smoothie. Now, if you are using a protein powder, first of all, make sure it's high quality source. I've talked about this a lot before. Just use one of the serving recommendations. You don't have to overdo it and add all these other protein sources in. Really, from your protein powder, 15 to maybe even 30 grams at most is all that you'll need. Because remember, you're still going to be adding in other ingredients for your smoothie, especially if you're doing it the right way, that will increase the protein content even further. Okay, number 3, you're using raw kale in your smoothies. And okay, technically this isn't one for weight loss, but it is a really big important factor for bloating. Now, a pretty shocking amount of people in the US and even in the world are experiencing a lot of gut issues. One of the more catch-all phrases is IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, but we also have issues like Crohn's or ulcerative colitis or even SIBO. Now, if you have one of these conditions, having raw kale is not necessarily a good idea. Very hard to break down, which can cause extra stress on the GI tract. It also has a ton of hard to break down fibers that only really your gut bacteria can break down, which can cause a lot of bloating as a result. But if you still did want to use kale, it's not that you can't use kale, you just don't want to use the raw form. So this is kind of a lengthy process, but if you do like to use kale, then you could always steam it and then freeze it and just add it into your smoothies that way. That helps to at least pre-digest the kale so you don't have to work as hard breaking it down. Number 4, you're skimping on the fats. We always talk about on this channel how in order to maintain satiety, which is very important for weight loss goals, we need protein, fat, and fiber. Now, it's really easy to be scared of fat because there's this whole mentality that fat will make you fat, but this can't be further from the truth. At least not fat when used properly. Fat does not cause that insulin response the way that carbohydrates do. And remember, insulin is the storing hormone. Fat also increases the satiety of your meal, which is very important again for weight loss and just for, feeling good. So in order to help stabilize blood glucose levels, also to increase satiety of the meal, don't shy away from fats. You can check out an example of this with this video for my fat burning smoothie recipe. Okay, number 5, you're using way too much fruit. Fruit is not evil. Fruit is definitely not bad. There's a lot of really great health benefits that are tied to it, but just because it's not bad doesn't mean that way too much of it is not going to cause problems. Fruit still is going to be a source of sugar, and especially if it's in something like a smoothie where since it's blended, it's essentially pre-digested and easier to absorb into your system, it can still cause more of those blood glucose spikes and falls that can lead to making you feel more hungry, more mood swingy, and cause that increase in insulin that can lead to storing mode. Now, it's not that you have to totally get rid of fruit from your smoothie. In fact, again, you'll see in a lot of my smoothies, I still include a small amount of fruit. It's just you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be using multiple cups worth of fruit or multiple bananas in your smoothie because the sugar content can really start to build on it, especially if you're using fruit juice as your base too. And this is what can happen in a lot of acai bowl places, so just make sure you're looking out for that. All right, number 6, you're not getting in any variety with your smoothies. And I know it's very easy once you find the thing that you love to just keep having the same thing, but this really limits you on the different type of nutrients that you're getting. For example, just looking at the different types of fats that you can use. Almond butter is a really great source of vitamin E, but chia seeds are a much better source of fiber. So alternating your fats, alternating the fiber sources, even alternating your protein sources can help to make sure that you're getting the nutrients that your body actually needs. Number 7, you're never adding in any spices. This can seem like such a strange one because what do spices have anything to do with our weight loss goals? Now, it's not that you have to add spice into every smoothie that you're having, but it can actually really benefit your health and your weight loss goals to occasionally or more often add in some spices. Now, one of the most well-known spices and benefits for weight loss is cinnamon. And there's actually been studies that have found that Ceylon cinnamon is really helpful for balancing blood glucose levels. And remember, that's one of the main goals for helping you to tap into fat burning mechanisms is to make sure we reduce that spike and fall. So by adding in cinnamon, you can actually help to further stabilize your blood glucose levels. And then of course, there's the anti-inflammatory types of spices like ginger and turmeric that are really great to throw into your smoothies. I put it in my pineapple turmeric smoothie, also the ginger cacao. And just like with switching up your smoothie ingredients, switching up the different spices is also a great way to switch up the benefits too. Okay, number 8, you're using nut butters that contain a whole bunch of added nonsense. This one might be a little more intuitive, but making sure that the nut butters that you're using for your fat source are actually free of any added ingredients. So you don't want there to be things like the safflower oil or sugar. Sugar's a very common one, much more common than you'd think. But safflower or other oils like canola are usually used especially for the roasting process of those peanuts or almonds. And that's essentially just oxidized fat that can cause increased inflammation in the body. Plus, it's just not good for your health anyway. It's not going to make you feel any better by having these lower quality nut butters. So just make sure that any of the nut butters you're using or seed butters as well don't contain sugar or any types of added oils. So you just want to see whatever the nut or seed is in the ingredients. All right, number 9, you're using boxed nut or seed milks in their original form. This one is a very tricky marketing scheme because you would think that original would be the unsweetened form, but it's not. You have to specifically seek out unsweetened. The original does tend to contain those added sugars that'll give you anywhere from 5 to 10 grams of added sugars just from your base. So make sure if you aren't making your own nut milk that you are getting a unsweetened boxed nut milk. And number 10, you're trying to keep it low calorie. People always say you shouldn't drink your calories, and that's actually true when it does come to things like sweetened beverages like sodas or sweet tea. In fact, sweetened beverages are one of the leading causes of obesity in the US, which is pretty crazy to think about. But remember, we're not having sugary based smoothies, especially if you're doing it the right way. We're actually keeping sugar very low and increasing the satiety factors such as protein, fat, and fiber. Now, if you try to keep it low calorie, then that means that you're not going to be shutting off your hunger hormones, which means you're not going to be satiated, which means you're going to be hungry within an hour or two and end up snacking throughout the day. Remember, snacking throughout the day will cause you to have more of those insulin spikes throughout the day that can keep you in storing mode. So instead, focus on making sure that you have those blood glucose stabilizing and satiating factors in your smoothie for the protein, fat, and fiber so that you won't snack and so that you won't keep your insulin high. And if you guys are using intermittent fasting, there's actually a lot of break fast mistakes I see happen all the time. So make sure that you check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love the science-backed information, make sure that you subscribe right here and hit the notification bell. I come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday to help you feel amazing again. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.